What's up? I'm HUGZ. That's Sam. Welcome to HUGZ and Sam. Today we're getting into My Hero Academia Season 4, Episode 7. Episode 7D, actually. Last we left off. It was actually really, I feel weird whenever I do that, and then I'm like, oh, wait, it was horrible where I left off on,
Yeah, it was, really bad. We found out that they were making bullets out of Ares' body.
Yeah, well, it was, the whole thing of the what do you call them? I wasn't going to say bullets. I don't even know what I was going to say. What darts. They look like the little, sleep darts.
They've got, a little needle coming out.
They look like a little sleeping dart or whatever that you would, tranquilizer or something. But, it's got the anti-quirk.
Yes.
Whatever it is. Juice.
Venom.
Blood. Body. I don't know. Well, it's the fact that they were talking about how they were using her for it. At first, I was going to be like, oh, they're just, drawing her blood. Right. And they're, using that. And, it's her blood that stops the quirks. But the fact they were talking about, it's actually,
yeah.
destroying part of her body and remaking it into a little dart.
And then we saw her having flashbacks of Izuku holding her and how she said that was the first time she really felt comforted.
Yeah.
And that was
it felt like the first time she was ever touched and someone cared.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
It was that freaking had me messed up. And if y'all have seen our last reactions, I do not handle this whole Aerie thing very well.
This storyline's rough, though.
It's very dark. It's a whole different level of dark, and I'm just what are you looking at?
I thought I saw something on the wall. Shout out to Dark, by the way, if you're watching this. We have a friend named Dark. But yeah, it is very dark, and it's very it's very emotional, but it's when you're dealing with children in general, it hits at a different level.
Yeah.
What was the name of the kid last season that messed me up so bad?
Kota?
Yeah, that messed me up last season. Yeah. But whenever it's got to do with a little kid, it's extra.
Yeah, but this one is just so sad because she's being abused, at a level that's
unheard
what
of.
The hell? I can't even handle it.
Body. But also, so you have Mirio. The first time we've really seen him out of his kind of cheesy All Might Junior,
all happy smiles. Yeah, he's actually taking this hard, and he's serious.
Well, because
he
was
angry.
The one who was we have to leave this to the heroes, and I mean, it was kind of smart the way that they did it. They had to do it that way because Shisaki was about to
yeah, but since
but Izuku's very messed up,
and he knows since they've left that little girl, she has probably been tortured, over and over, and
but it's do you watching the whole thing back, I was screaming for Izuku to save her. I was this is what a true hero is. You can't leave her no matter what Mirio says or thinks. But then I'm also you can't just engage and ruin everything and potentially die. So it was a hard call. But seeing how much turmoil they're in is bad enough. But then seeing it from her perspective, where it showed that was the first time she'd ever received compassion or care,
and the fact that
horrible.
he did that thing with his wrist, his glove. So she probably did that to save them.
Stuff's about to go down.
Yeah, she's oh shit,
go back. Stuff's about to go down.
Yeah. So are we for sure that that's her dad?
I mean, they keep saying that, but we don't know 100p.
Yeah, because I don't feel she's actually I mean, she could be. Why not, right? But I guess it's just kind of I'm how could you do that to your own kid? I guess villains and crazy evil people in this world, they don't think about that. They would do it. They would hurt anybody. People kill their kids all the time, sadly. But
there's a difference also between killing and
torturing,
endlessly torturing. That's, I don't know, is that worse? I think it's worse.
I think it's worse too. But people do that too. Yeah. People torture their children.
I don't know. Anyway, this has gone to a really dark path.
But this is totally on topic.
It is,
and the thing is, I guess the reason I don't want to believe that it's her own dad is because I don't want to believe that he would do that to his own kid.
Yeah. I don't know. Also, he seems fairly young.
To have a daughter. Yeah, that's kind of what I was
Because she seems a little no, I mean, she's young, but she doesn't seem like a baby. She seems fairly...
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
She's not. I mean, what would you say she is? Like 8, 9?
Yeah.
Because she seems like mentally.
She seems older, but
you know what I mean. Like maybe.
And that's
7.
another thing, you know. And I know this is
10.
kind of like whatever. I'm probably thinking too much into this, and we're talking a lot. But
6 to 10.
Whenever a girl is like born and like, or a guy, whatever, do whatever. Whenever
I was
a
like,
child
where
is
this
born,
going?
whenever a
child
child is born, whenever a child is born and all they've known is this life that she's living,
life, yeah.
How would you know that that is what compassion is? You know what I'm saying? So she's like, I've never felt that before.
She seemed confused by it.
Yeah. So I'm like kind of wondering, has she ever been out in the real world? You know what I'm saying? She says she's never felt that before, ever.
Well, because that's what I was saying. Like, if it was her dad...
Wouldn't you think that was just normal, though? Being abused was just normal?
But I'm thinking, like, if that were her actual father, like, before he knew that her body could, like, stop quirks and stuff, you'd think he would have had a normal relationship with her prior to that.
Yeah.
I don't know. The whole
Unless
thing
she was just
makes
too
me think that she's
young
not.
to, like, to
understand
know.
it.
She may have been comforted or...
Well, look at the way that she's held.
Mom?
Look
You
at
know
the
what
way
I'm
she's
saying?
held, though. She's in that room like a normal kid with like toys and
Yeah.
all that. It seems like they want to create the idea of like a comforting environment, which makes it oddly creepier because the dude came in with like that huge smile, like all happy
and
to
he
be
was
there.
Like,
and
oh, but then he left the room and was
like,
like,
you know, he's like not. He just doesn't want to die.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
and where's the girl's mom? Another question. Cause like,
and possibly also real dad if he's not the dad. I'm still holding out for a potential Todoroki connection.
I feel like the mom could be Todoroki's mom.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But let's
anyway,
go ahead.
we're all over the place. Let's go.
Jump in here. See what's going down. Hey guys, a lot of these anime reactions will be getting blocked, so make sure to go down to the description for a reaction link, or you can watch a full version over on Patreon. Okay.
I can't handle.
I love that the able. I'm so excited. I love villains so much. And the one dude looks like the freaking Scarecrow. He's got like the bag over his face and stuff. I'm so ready. I've never been more ready for this. I thought the League of Villains was like the be all end all, like gonna be super cool. I thought Hero Killer Stain was like gonna be epic, and then we get Chisaki and like all these badass looking bad guys and the freaking Shiosaki. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Like,
I'm ready.
I'm ready. Let me choke.
Yeah, I'm ready. I was ready and then I choked, but I'm ready again.
So like, that was basically
just
like, you know, yeah, okay, that's something we can talk about. Because I was about to say, like, basically this was just us, you know, suiting up, getting ready for the battle. But what is up with the dad? So...
I don't know.
He kind of, like, I don't know, I always want to be like, he looked familiar, but he did look familiar.
He low-key.
I'm like,
not
have
like
we
somebody
seen
that
him before?
I don't feel like it was somebody we definitely should remember, but I think a lot of characters look somewhat similar.
That's kind of why I hate saying that. I hate saying, like, they look familiar, but he really did. Also, what's up with Gran Torino going missing? Because we saw him on top of the roof.
Well, they said that the League of Villains was moving.
Yeah.
So I think that's what didn't they say that's who he's looking after as he's watching the League of Villains?
Yeah, because they had like all those different pinpoint
because
he
didn't go
and
missing.
That's what Gran Torino. Right, but Deku didn't know where he was, so
he wasn't with everybody else.
Right, and there has to be a reason why he mentioned it. So that's basically why I'm talking about that.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying like I think that's why is like the League of Villains is going to end up tied into whatever is going to happen with this.
Yeah.
So
what are these 8 bullets gonna do, I wonder?
Well, he referred to them as pieces. He said that's what those pieces were made for, groomed for, whatever they were. Well, I think they're just standing there ready to take on everybody that comes in.
So, like are these somehow connected to Nomus? Like, are they?
I don't know.
Like, because like that one thing that popped out, the dude, he looked like a Nomu, like a human Nomu.
When we very first saw them, in the first episode or whatever, that was what I said, was I thought they looked like Nomu.
Yeah, but then Nomu was connected to the League of Villains, right?
Yeah.
So...
Well, it was connected to All For One.
Right. Oh, yeah, because the brains.
And
they're trying to do stuff like
he said, Chisaki said, like, he learned a lot from that, and, like, he was...
So they could essentially be
in some way, shape or form, like even an homage to the Nomu.
Yeah, like his version of a Nomu.
Did he say this is why these pieces were made? Like, did he create these? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I believe that's what he said.
Is this muted so it doesn't? No. Okay. I want to see what he specifically said. I want to know what his quote was. So it was something like,
I cannot be found now.
That's what those pieces were groomed for, I think he says. Let's make that the story. That's what those pieces were groomed for.
Okay, so maybe he didn't make them, he just trained them.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. So there's that. I mean, I'm like
my feet are sweating.
Like
that's how intense.
Why are they
this
like?
was.
They're like buying presents for this little, like for Aerie. Like, why would they do that just to like be torturing her at the same time? Like, do they have feelings for her? Like, do they even give a crap about her? Like,
well, I don't think anybody that we've seen has overtly acted as if they give a crap about her. But there's got to be a reason. Because I was wondering that too. Like, why did they have this?
Like, why do they give a damn if they're just going to be?
Chisaki even said something before about like trying to keep her happy so she doesn't want to run away or whatever.
Yeah, and that might be what it is.
But it's like, I don't know. I don't think buying some toys is going to work, Chief. Also, okay. Hold on with me here for a sec. Okay. This is kind of out there. But is she way older than she looks? Because he was like, he said something to the person about the toy, and they're like, that's from years ago. Yeah. The clerk said that's from years ago. And I'm like, is that what Aerie asked for? Or is that just like Chisaki just said go buy whatever and that guy just remembered a popular toy from a while ago? Like, I'm like, there had to be a reason that they said that was from years ago, or it could just be a throwaway. But it makes me feel like that was like kind of like a little bit of a hint to something. Yeah. So I'm like, is Aerie much older? And like when they asked her what kind of toy she wants, she named a toy that was like old, like an old toy or something.
Yeah.
Not old, but
like do you mean like she was like an older person that become younger, or she just
her growth that was stunted? Is her
like she'll never get older.
Well, it's not even necessarily stunted, but that just could be like she looks like she's part creature. Like she doesn't look human, but in this world some quirks are just like that. But it's like if let's just say, for instance, Ryukyu is like a dragon. Okay, dragons age drastically different than humans. Mm-hmm. You know,
which she looks really cool about.
Depending on what, you know, world or rules that you're looking at.
Yeah.
So theoretically, she could just look that way, and that's just the normal way to look for that age. But she is older than we assume, because she, like I said, she seems young, but she also seems like intelligent.
But like, she still has the mind of a kid though, because she's still got like little kid toys.
Well, yeah, but like, okay, so if I live to be 1,000 years old, okay, my childhood is probably like 200 years. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So even if she's like 77 years old, if if her race or species lives to be 1,000, she would still be considered like a child. Mm-hmm. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like,
I don't know how that works.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Not saying she's like 70-something years old or she'd live to be 1,000. I'm just saying like that is my idea for why even if she's older, she would still be childlike.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't know. That's a really good theory though.
Is it? I don't know.
That she's not really a little girl, like she's really much older, or that she's been around for longer, or that her growth has just kind of stopped at that age.
I'm purely basing it off of just the
that
fact
toy thing, because that was really weird. I was like, what's even happening right now?
And that she seems like advanced or very like intelligent, like she reads the situations of what's happening. You know what I mean? Like you would think like the choice that she made to save them and like realizing what was happening and all that is more of like a mature choice.
See, I don't really see that like that. I just see that as like she's old enough to know, hey, that glove coming off, it fucks you up. Yeah. And I don't want that to happen.
But I'm saying like that's still a mature choice. Like if you think of like a little kid that's afraid of being hurt and stuff like that by this person, like endlessly tortured, you have to have a level of maturity and intelligence to decide to go back to save other people.
Yeah.
Because you just don't have that part of your brain. She might not have really
done that to save them. She might have just been scared for herself, too.
I don't know. But I'm just saying that's what I'm drawing these conclusions off of. It's not like I'm just pulling it out of my butt. I mean, I am pulling it out of my butt. Also, but, like, I have reasons for why.
Also, like, you know, like how, like, he's groomed, like, these people, these, you know.
The 8 Bullets.
The 8 Bullets.
Which is a cool last name.
So, like, you would think, like, hey, like, he probably has groomed her, like, over time. She's probably trained, you know, to be a certain way. And maybe that's just, like, a thing that he does to, like, be like, you better do this. You know what I mean? It's probably just, like, a thing that he's, like, groomed her to know, like, hey, you're gonna get it if you don't come cut this out, you know?
Here's a couple more theories that I have, since I'm just throwing my crazy theories out there. Okay? One, he wears a mask because his, like, face is messed up. Because, like, he accidentally, like, maybe when he learned his power or something, like, destroyed part of his face or something.
Or maybe she's really actually strong as hell, and what if she wrecked him up?
Here's my other theory about her, though. What if she's not theoretically his kid, but a part of him that he pulled from himself and created?
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Into this form.
Yeah. Also, I still am not. I like that idea.
I'm just saying, like, these are completely off the wall, but it's just the stuff that goes through my head.
There has to be a reason that, like, it's like his immune system or something is weak. And I'm pretty sure that's what is up with this mask, because he's made multiple comments about being kind of like a germaphobe and how the dust in the air and he can't breathe it and he can't. It's like his mask filters that, and so I think that maybe he's got a low immune system, because we also saw, like, him kind of breaking out because of, I guess, like, germs or whatever. So I feel like there's something about his immune system, and I was thinking, I wonder if whenever he heals, if it kind of takes part of his immune system away from him. So, like, every single time he destroys and then he, like, is like his dad, maybe he's trying to keep his dad alive. Maybe he has to give something up in order to do that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, because he killed that one dude, and then it looked like he had because we didn't think it looked like blood. It looked like an outbreak.
Right, because I was like,
but that was after blood? He killed that dude. He didn't heal.
It was
somebody.
The blood squirted, and it was kind of like, was that blood on him, or was that like him breaking out? I'm pretty sure it was him breaking out.
That's what it looked like. It didn't look like blood necessarily, not to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else. Seeing Miria, like, really motivated, like, angry, like, ready to go was exciting. And then I liked Night Eye and his diatribe about Mirio and, like, how he knows that he blames himself, but what he did was right. And then seeing Izuku, like, not necessarily in the shadow of, but, like, Mirio steps away and it's like Izuku there.
Yeah, you can just tell Night Eye just believes in Mirio so much more. Mm-hmm. It's kind of sad. But it's whatever. From
his perspective, he, looking at Izuku, okay, from a completely, like, unbiased stance, okay, because we've had all this meta information, we've seen all this happen, like, just taking ourselves out and looking at it completely, like, objectively. Mirio has amazing power, has all this. You had a quirkless little kid who's, like, really into heroes and stuff. Like, on
paper,
doesn't
have, like, the best judgment.
Yeah. But, like
let's just be real.
Very impulsive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, like, on paper, not knowing anything about the stories or his passion or, you know, the heart that he has and all this determination and all that, not knowing that, you would be like, Mirio 100%. So Night Eye doesn't necessarily have all this, you know, time or connection to Izuku to realize how much he truly is worth. Right. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, how much more he brings to the table emotionally. Like, he has the heart and the courage and the determination and the bravery. Yeah. And he because he has no quirk, he wants it more.
I guess, like, the more that this show goes on, though, I'm like, what does that, like, in the grand scheme of things, like, I completely understand Night Eye. Like, what does that courage, like, really do whenever it's, like, this little girl's in danger? And Mirio's choice to leave was smart. But Deku, like, would have totally just, like, he was just impulsive. Like, he didn't care about anything other than saving the girl.
That's the thing. Because he wants to save everyone.
He wants to save everyone, but it's like, it just worries me because it's like, that is amazing and I believe he can do it, whatever, but it's just so impulsive. It's so impulsive, and like, it's like he's got like this like, I'm invincible personality when he just doesn't. He doesn't even know how to fully use his power yet.
Here's my question though. To that direct statement, who does that sound like?
All Might. I mean, yeah, but at least he was like...
All Might, on his freaking, like, basically deathbed, walking away after that fight, talking to Night Eye, said he couldn't step down because people might not be in danger, not be hurt or whatever, might be afraid. He didn't even want people to have fear.
I know, but it just...
That's who... That's the spirit of All Might.
I just see Deku as like this like impulsive little kid that doesn't really know what he's doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I still see him like that, and it's like, I want him to do something like he's done great things. Like, oh my gosh, he saved people, and he's had great moments of judgment. But it's just like, if we're comparing Mirio and Deku in this situation, I'm like I agree with Night Eye. Like, Mirio is just a better option for One for All. Like, he would have been the better option, and that's just how I feel right now. I know everybody's probably gonna be really mad at me, but
I mean, you have a valid reason for it. I just don't agree.
Yeah.
Just because, like I said, on paper, objectively, I would agree with that from Night Eye's perspective. Knowing what I know, seeing the growth, the emotional response and everything, and that does matter to me. Courage, bravery, all that matters to me, especially for someone that didn't have a quirk. Like, it's like...
But I have a question. What? Do you not think Mirio has courage?
We haven't seen him at the same... We haven't seen him come up against the same level of challenges, the emotional fortitude, the wherewithal to continue to learn and adapt and grow from someone who went from quirkless to destroying their body to learn how to use their talent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
See, like, and I agree with you there. But it's like, also, whenever like shit goes down and like there's like victory and stuff like that, we see Deku over there crying. Oh. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that
it's just
matters
like,
though.
I don't know.
He cares too much, but he
it's just too much. It is too much. He needs to, like, I mean, bottom line, he needs to grow up, and he needs to, like,
here's
he needs to calm down and grow up.
The difference is in their mindsets. Mirio wants to save 1 million people. Deku wants to save everybody.
I mean,
which is more like All Might. Which is the symbol. The person who saves 1 million people, or the person who, even if one person is still in danger, is going to save them?
Well, yeah. I mean, but I just feel like if Mirio sees somebody in danger, he's not just going to leave them. Like, I don't think he would have left Eri had he, like...
But he did. And Izuku didn't want to.
But the thing is, though, is leaving was smart, just like Night Eye said. It was smart. I don't like it at all because she got hurt in that meantime. But
okay, here's the thing. From what we know, yes, it was very smart. I agree that is the smart play. But that doesn't mean it would have ended with them getting destroyed and him continuing to have Eri. For all we know, we've seen Deku come out of crazier situations. If he would have went 100% and taken her, they may have gotten away with taking her.
Yeah.
But I mean, Night Eye would have been upset because then they would have been on to them and all that.
Yeah.
But what's worse, them being on to the fact that they're after them, or them continuing to make these darts and torture this girl?
Yeah. It's almost like what was truly the better option.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like, which one was more risky? Of course, having taken her then would have been way more risky. But it's like, the payoff would have been better.
But here's the thing. And we can break that down again to the smart, on-paper choice, the option that was the most delicate and
the
smart.
Compulsive, most like All Might.
So Mirio's much more like Night Eye, and Izuku's much more like All Might. And that's, the two outcomes could have been different. That's what I'm saying. Like, that emotion does matter.
Deku is very much like All Might. All Might is very impulsive and stuff. But it's like, whenever you think about, like,
That's why All Might's in the position he's in, though.
It's just, I don't know. Like, I guess at this point in the show, Deku, I just feel like they need to like make him grow up. Like, he's kind of annoying me. You know what I'm saying? He's just kind of like,
he's under a lot of stress,
and I get that.
He's learned a lot just in the last.
And he suffered the most because Eri clung to him. You know what I mean? He felt her. He felt her, and he felt like that empathy that he had in his heart and stuff for her. He felt that. He's been going through that. He's been having those flashbacks. But I'm not just talking about that. Though. I'm talking about, not only has he like had to deal with the Eri thing, he's had to learn that
Mirio was the chosen one.
Mirio was the chosen one. He, so yes, he's got all this stuff going on.
He still is a kid.
And he's still a kid, but it's just like, I don't know. I just want more from him. Like, like, use what you're going through and like strengthen up. Get a little bit more like confidence. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has like so low confidence, and it's a turn off.
It's gotten better.
It is a turn off for me.
But I agree.
That
he's
so
a whiny hero.
He's whiny.
He's a whiny hero.
I'm tired of hearing Deku whine. I guess that is just the one sentence. If I could sum this up, Hot Sam is sick and tired of hearing Deku whine.
I get that. I feel that vibe that you're on about that. But that's the difference between a hero in training and what he will become. And I feel like that payoff as he grows, and when we hit that point where he's like fully confident in himself and does save the day, because that's what's got to happen. Like, he's got to be, even if it's not this storyline, if Eri dies, like, that would definitely push forward a whole different level of emotion and whatever.
Probably gonna be done with this show.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, eventually, at the end of the day, he has to become the greatest hero. That's what the whole story's about. He's the narrator of the story about how he becomes the greatest hero. Yeah. He talks about it in the very beginning of the show. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm excited to see that overall transition at the end. Yeah. You know what I mean? We're seeing all this. We're annoyed by it. It is what it is. Everybody's
and also,
got.
If you're gonna be a hero in training and you're in Class A, don't be acting like you're a hero in training in Class B. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I don't even want to. Okay.
I'm just saying he's a hero in training, but he needs to work on some stuff.
Some of the people in Class B were badass. B's for badass. By the way.
I know. Maybe Class C for low confidence. I really overall, I love Deku. I love this show.
I love the character storyline.
I love the story. I love like the underdog. Yeah. But it's like, all right, we've seen enough of that. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, can you like for 1 second have something go on and just not cry or not whine or not be like,
when he's in the moment, he comes through.
I know. I guess I'm not explaining myself well enough.
Well, I'm saying, like, I fully understand and fully agree with the whiny nature. And after the fact, he sometimes breaks down, even after the fact or whatever. And he does doubt himself a lot. But
even that you're next, bawling. Like, oh my God, are you kidding me? You know what I mean?
And I'm all like, man, I'm for that.
I'm like, I'm over it. I'm over it. It was good, but then it's like, I'm over it, you know?
I just see this as, like, totally different, like, stupid comparison, but like I'm really into pro wrestling, okay? And if I thought like I was not able to be a pro wrestler or whatever, like not able-bodied or whatever, and then all of a sudden I met like the greatest pro wrestler ever in the history of my life, and then he was like, you can do this, even though I knew I never could, and then like he passes the torch to me and he's like, you're the next one to be the greatest, and I'd be bawling my eyes out, like, even though I'd be like super dedicated.
When you first get this ability,
and then the first time I ever won a match, I would like cry. The first time I ever did anything amazing, I would cry. Like,
first year. I mean, you totally okay. But once you're like, this is gonna be the rest of my life, okay? Yeah. You gotta like.
I'm here for it. I'm here for the emotion, the whiny nature, the crying, and the whining are two different things to me, though. The lack of confidence and the whining about it and the indecisiveness, I'm not about.
Yeah.
But like the ability to like have that emotion and feel like that want to be the next one, to live up to the expectation of that, like that emotion, I'm here for it. Like that's what I'm all about. But the other side of it, the lack of confidence and all that, I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
And I do feel like it should be toned down more because of how far we are. Mm-hmm. But I'm hoping for
I just feel like I've been fine with his with everything so far. It's just kind of like with this whole Airy thing, it's like and now like Night Eye come into the picture and he's kind of making us question whether or not Deku was really the best option. And right now I'm just like no. And that's basically all I'm saying is I don't feel that he was a better option than Mirio. Was he more like All Might? Yeah. But I feel like if there was a perfect like person that could have taken on All Might's power, it would have been Mirio in between the two. Yeah. And it's just, it kind of makes me think more about Deku as a whole, and that's kind of why I'm saying all this stuff. I'm not just talking trash about Deku just in general, because I really love his story and I love everything about him as a person and everything as a character in the show. He's not really a person. But.
So here's my question. All Might's considered like the greatest hero of all time, right?
Mm-hmm. In the show, yeah.
Well, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like, that seems generally accepted. Nobody talks about heroes from the past or whatever that were greater than him. Like, he is the be-all, end-all greatest hero of all time, right? What about all the people that had his power before him?
Well, they said that it always gets better.
But what I'm saying is, like, yeah, but it's not just the power that makes a hero great. He's the symbol. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's the way that he saves people with a smile. You know what I mean? Like, it's what he does. Well, hold on. Follow me on this, okay? He's the greatest hero of all time. He's impulsive. He does all the stuff he shouldn't do. He keeps fighting even though he's super injured. So all those bad traits you think of Izuku are the ones that make him most like All Might. So that probably makes an argument that someone would have been a better One for All than All Might. Because he would have had the same negatives as Izuku, right?
Yeah.
But he became the greatest hero of all freaking time that everyone talks about, that he is like the be-all, end-all greatest. And it was because of the things that made him imperfect that made him perfect.
So I guess people are going to be like, he's going to be zooming into Izuku. Instead of seeing that smile, you're just going to see some little kid crying on top of a mountain of trash.
He's fighting. He doesn't... Let us know what you thought, because...
No, I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's the negative, is that he cries too much. And that's just what I'm saying. He doesn't have that smile.
But he's getting there.
He wants to save people with a smile, but he literally has to put on a fake smile in order to do it.
All Might does too, though.
Well, yeah, but it's like...
That's the thing.
It's not like... Have you seen Deku win a fight and then just stand there with a smile? No, he stands there and he cries.
I mean, we can disagree. We it seems like we agree on quite a bit.
We agree on quite a bit. But I just think that right now, after this episode and after Night Eye questioning it, I just am questioning it. I
think it's just Night Eye and the same as everybody else. You're biased because of your like opinion on things. I'm biased because of my opinion. Night Eye has a bias towards the character that is more like him.
Yeah.
That's just the way I look at it. He sees these two people, and he has a bias towards the one that is the more cautious, the more, like the perfect choice. Whereas I think imperfection makes things more unique and more perfect.
Yeah. I mean, trust me, I'm the last one to be saying that something that is imperfect isn't good, because I'm far from imperfect. But wait, I'm far from imperfect.
Do you see the diamond?
Who's gonna cut that out? I'm far from perfect, so, I don't really have much to say. I'm a very emotional person. I cry over everything. I'm very immature, and I'm whiny.
And you know what?
But you know what? I'm not saying I'm the greatest freaking hero of all time.
You're my hero.
Aww. That's sweet. Anyway.
Love her. She's amazing.
And I make really good, what do I make good of? Because I'm hungry.
I make really good, help me out here.
Eggs. I'm hungry, so I'm just thinking.
You do actually make good egg mixture. All right, but anyway.
Oh yes, that's what I want right now. I'm gonna go make that right now.
Yeah. Let us know what you thought in the comment section down below. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed this discussion. This video is now almost an hour long.
We should just keep talking for 5 minutes.
But let us know what you thought in the comments down below. Like it if you did. Sub if you don't already. Shout out to our patrons watching the full and early reaction up on Patreon. Thank you so much for your support. You really don't know how much it means. It means the world. We'll be back with more videos soon. We love you guys. Bye.